is going off to its new home. So I'm just wrapping it up. And I'm going to be delivering it tonight to the lovely lady who bought it. Good morning, everyone. It feels like it's been ages since I've actually talked to you. Today is going to be a bit of a marathon day. I got some henna done on my hand this weekend because the event that I ran at the museum was a Diwali party. So it's really cool. This is the first time I've ever had it, and sorry, it's not focusing. It goes on in the thick liquid, and then you have to let it dry and put lemon juice on it and then peel it off, and then it darkens slowly from like orange to brown. So when you see this movement, you can see it. Today is an election day in Canada, so I just went and voted, dropped my kids off at school, and now I'm having a cup of tea before I have to get everything ready to go for the Raw Artist Showcase Stellar, which is happening tonight. So the first one was last night, and then tonight is my night, and there's a whole other set of artists that are going to be displaying their work in this one. So I worked a lot yesterday getting all my rods ready for my quilts, finishing up some last minute sewing details, trying to figure out how to transport everything. I'm gonna have to drive downtown, which is anxiety inducing for me because I don't usually drive downtown in the city. It's chaotic and tight, and I just don't like it. But the way this works is that you have to be down there around 2 p.m. and start loading your stuff in and setting it up. The event starts at 7 and then it ends at 12:30. So I can't really transport all my work down there on public transit and bring it all back on public transit. It's just too much work, and it's also raining, like heavy rain, heavy October cold rain today. So I have to drive. So finding parking, once I find parking, I'll feel like I have won one victory. And then getting everything loaded in and set up should be fine. I have a lot of time. And then the other stressful thing will be just maintaining a certain energy level for the night, because I'm not usually out talking about my work at like 11:30 at night. And what else and then just tearing down and packing up the car and driving home really late. So Dave had to fly to Washington, D.C. today, so I am also single parenting until Thursday night, and I'm very, very lucky because I have really supportive family who are helping me with the kids while this is happening. Originally, obviously, Dave was going to be picking them up from school and being here with them in the night, but he had to fly today. So my brother-in-law is picking my kids up from school and hanging out with them. for the afternoon, and then my mother-in-law is going to come and bring dinner and then sleep over and leave in the morning. So I'm very, very fortunate that I have such support from my family, because if I didn't, if we were alone here, I would have had to pay a babysitter to sleep here or not done it. So I have to say my energy level is really low, and I'm pretty, like, I'm excited and nervous, and just I'm going to be really happy tomorrow when this is finished and I can look back on it fondly, as opposed to getting through it today. I think trying to be professional artist and parent at the same time is it's a challenge, and I don't, like, I'm really excited and I'm really glad that I have this opportunity, and obviously that's why I'm doing this. But to be, honest, and to show this in this vlog as clear as I can, it's still really stressful and tiring, and there's a lot of balls that are in the air. So yeah, I'm planning to vlog as much as I can of this experience today, because I think it's important that if you're looking to become an artist, that you have a way to gauge experiences and see if they're right for you, and not feel so lost. I think a lot of artists, when you're out there and you're trying to build your career, it's very challenging to know what opportunities are right for you and right for your moment. So I'll just describe a little bit about what Raw is. They are a not-for-profit who put on events all around the world in different cities, and they rent out nightclubs. And then they set up a multi-artist showcase. So tonight there's going to be visual artists, makeup artists, hair artists, fashion designers, musicians, and DJs. And we all share the same space. We all show our work. Obviously, I'm doing visual art. There's also artisans as well, I believe, so people that make fine craft as well. So everybody shares the space, and it sells tickets, like a kind of crowdfunding way, to support the event and to, like, pay for the rental fee and pay for the costs of the production. Or, I mean, in my case, I wasn't really able to sell a lot of tickets, but I covered the cost myself. And the reason I did that is because I'm being exposed to an audience that I've never been exposed to before. So this is a different type of audience than my work has been shown to thus far. And so to me, it was worth it to make this investment in myself and in my career, and do something like this where my work is being put in front of hundreds of eyes that don't even know who I am. So the other great thing about them as an organization is that once you have sold your tickets for one show, you can go and be in another show anywhere in any of their other cities. You just have to pay your travel. You don't have to pay to be in this second showcase, which I think is a really great perk. And so I will try to take advantage of that in 2020. I don't feel like I can do it now. I'm hoping to go to Seattle. And yeah, I think I would really love to be able to do that, but I'm hoping to do it in 2020 when I've had a bit of a break from the pace of life that I have right now, because it's ridiculous. So yeah, so today is packing up, getting ready. I have to want to kind of figure out what I'm going to wear, and get all the little last minute things prepared, and the little life things that are happening, like my carpets are being cleaned tomorrow at 8 a.m., which is not a convenient time, but I've already rescheduled this, and so I just decided to keep it and do it. So yeah, totally inconvenient, not a good time, but the carpets need to be cleaned and life goes on. So I think I'll be pretty tired tomorrow. I'm probably gonna take a nap at some point tomorrow, just to kind of, yeah. Okay, we are T-minus 1 hour until I'm going to leave. So I've started packing the car. I have chosen my clothes, and I'm just going to bring the last few things downstairs to load into the car, and then I'm going to clean my kitchen a bit and make some food because I'm not really comfortable leaving the venue when my art is there, and I'm going to be there for like 4 hours, 5 hours in the actual event. So I'm gonna bring snacks, and it's raining like crazy. So I have, I'm just bringing some of my plastic drop things to cover up. I've got a backpack for incidentals and then another bag full of stuff in here. This is all like lights and promotional stuff. Setting up, so I got here safe, didn't have a crash, found parking eventually. Okay, getting ready to go. Hello, it is the day after. And this is pretty much what I have done today. I have hung out in my bed. I did make lunches, got my kids to school, the carpets were cleaned, and I went and picked my kids up from school, had some lunch. I've just been pretty chill today. The reason for that is, there's many reasons, but one of them is that I go back to work my museum job tomorrow, and I have another event to run this weekend that I have to prepare for now. So the marathon continues, but I just wanted to wrap up my thoughts about last night, the Raw Showcase. So I think the Raw Showcase was a really great opportunity. I think there were a couple of things that made it a bit less busy. So there were, I think, fewer people there than usual, and there were a few reasons for that. Day of the week, weather was really, really rainy, and it was an election night, and there were several people who didn't show, like several artists who were supposed to be there didn't show up, and I would only assume that that was because they did not sell their tickets and they didn't want to pay for the spaces, so they didn't show up. And so that meant that there were fewer people coming to see those artists. It was totally humbling, the experience, because I think when you have a medium like I do that is unconventional and that people aren't used to seeing, there's a couple different types of reactions. There's people who aren't really there to look at the art anyway, so they just walk on by. There's people who are really surprised and interested, and they're like, what is this? I've never seen this before. That's so unique, that's so interesting, and they want to look. And then there's people who just don't, it doesn't really compute, because again, they're there to see a really specific type of art, whether it's prints, whether it's paintings. They want something very like not that that's bad, and I'm not trying to be judgmental in this in any way. Like, I think people have the right to like what they like, and I'm not trying to change their mind on what they should like. I think it's just a matter of being being somewhere, and people are looking at your work, and you're standing there, and it's a really humbling experience, because you basically hung hours and hours of work, hours of thought, years of practice and tradition, and sorry, not tradition, years of discipline, years of work, hard work, up there for people to look at. And it's hard when people tend, you watch someone dismiss it with a glance. So I mean, anyone, and I would put this out there for anyone that goes to craft fairs or farmers markets or goes to artisan showcases, anything like that. Just try to acknowledge people when you go by them. And I do that now all the time. So if I walk by someone and I know that they're sitting there, and they made all these soaps, or they made this jewelry, or they made all this baking, or whatever they do, if I catch their eye, I always smile and say hello, because I know how hard it is to stand there, and you're trying to stand there and be proud of your work, and show it and be confident. And so if people don't acknowledge you and smile, and you don't have to stop. If it's not interesting to you, just keep on walking. But the smile and a nodding and acknowledging that that person is standing there and that they're trying to show you something is so helpful to that person. It gives you energy to keep going. It gives you, like, I even had, there were a lot of, it was very loud there because there were bands playing and there was live music. So talking to people was actually quite challenging at times. But I had people that would go and look at something, and then they just look at me and they give me a thumbs up, or mouth the words like lovely or something like that. And even that is enough to give you the reassurance to keep going. And so I just want to put that out there, that if you are a person that frequents these types of things, please try to acknowledge the creators, because it really helps us to keep going. So that part is challenging, and yeah, I mean, I overall I'm happy. I think I prepared well. I had everything I needed. I had promotional materials. I don't think that a lot of the people were just kind of like, whoa, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. And I've kind of forgotten that is, that once you step outside of the art quilt specific world and put your work into places where they don't know anything about it, it becomes this whole new thing, So that is another thing. You have to explain to people what you make, why you make it, where it's coming from, and how it's a medium. All those things are, you have to re-explain to people. So I did that. And yeah, I think in terms of an investment, for me, because of the lower numbers of people that attended, I mean, I would say there were potentially at least 100 people there. So I mean, that's still really good. I mean, when I did the art crawl, I had 40 people come in. So this is like a good amount of people being exposed to my work, and different people who a lot of them had never seen art quilts before. So that was really good. But I do think that I should try to do another show within the year, in order to fully capitalize on my investment and in order to get the most out of it that I can as being a raw artist. So I am planning to do that. And overall, as an artist experience, I would say that working with Raw was really wonderful. They provided the things they said they were going to provide. They provided information for everything you needed. They had the fencing there and 2 lights, and then I provided the other lights for myself. They promoted it. They were very good to work with. So I think overall, I would say it's a good experience. And if you're thinking about it, if you weren't sure, because I know a lot of people are worried that there are scams out there and there are events. This isn't, they're a worthy organization. They are trying to support independent artists. They do their best to make it successful for everyone. So I would definitely say look into it and give it a try if it's a venue that you think is interesting, or if you think it's a venue that you could benefit from. And I mean, I went in there not expecting to sell work. I didn't sell any work. I think there were sales, but I think the type of things that we're selling were at a lower price point than I have, and that was okay. I really wasn't expecting to sell, and what I was expecting again was just to get more exposure. So check your motivations, and if you feel like you should, it's worth it for you, and you have good lower, like mid to lower price point pieces, try it out.